Well, Horner accused Hamilton of risking Verstappen's life in the 180-mile-an-hour collision that overshadowed the Britain's victory at Silverstone on Sunday. Hamilton, who's a vocal anti-racism campaigner, was bombarded with monkey emojis and online racist abuse.
Leads to the question, should any sportsperson or role model be beyond scrutiny?
Well, Leroy Logan is founding member of the Black Police Association and joins us now. And Leroy, this is a difficult one because what Christian Horner was talking about as the boss of a racing team whose driver's life had just been put at risk, he was clearly angry about that, but there was no racist intention in what he had to say, and yet the criticism is it led to racism.
I think what we have in this day and age, that people need any excuse to really declare their racist tendencies and come up with a vitriol that's got racial profiling at the extreme. And so those people in position of authority, high profile, like Christian of Red Bull, he needs to understand when he does that, there is the tendency that people will focus on the sports person's racial makeup, and that's what we saw with the three black footballers, the three lions as we call them now, when they didn't score their penalties. It's just a license for the racists to come out the rock from which they've come from and spew out their racist bile.
Saying that, sorry, the boss of a racing team whose driver has just been knocked off the track, he's clearly angry. He made a point about the race and about a driver in his sport. There was nothing racist about what he had to say, and you're saying he shouldn't have said it.
Well, you need to understand what's been happening with Black Lives Matter, and Lewis Hamilton has been at the leadership, at the vanguard, the cutting edge, to really push Black Lives Matter. And he's had a lot of racial backlash because of that. And Christian knows that. So he knows that if he's going to criticize him, the racists will come out in their droves to criticize Lewis, not because of it was a racing incident and he did his penalties, 10-second penalty, but the fact that he's a black man who's at the top of the championship and he's 7 times champion, and he's a good chance he's going to get 8 championships. So Christian needs to understand the context and the fact that Lewis has been through this racist tirade for decades. I met Lewis when he's in his first year, and I know what he was going through then, much less now, 7 times world champion.
And you said that some people will use any excuse to level racist abuse. But isn't the worry that actually people don't need an excuse to abuse black sports people? That they get it every day, day in, day out, whether they have done something on the pitch, on the racing track. It's just part and parcel of being a high-profile black sports person in this country.
Sadly, that is the case. And so those people who are in positions of authority who make their opinions known need to take that in consideration. I wish it wasn't like that. I wish a lot of the racism that happens in society wasn't like that. Sports, arts, whatever. But that's the way in which our lives are starting to be dragged towards. And we, in positions of authority, need to hold those people to account and let them know they're not unaccountable and they will be held to account, whether it's on social media or in the courts or otherwise.
Well, this is a mess, isn't it? Because what you're saying is no black athlete or sportsman or woman or artist, as you say, can be criticised at all.
It can be constructive. I must admit, I saw that incident live on TV. I saw Christian's interview live. He was an angry man, and I can understand why, but he needs to understand the context in which Lewis Hamilton has gone up the championship ladder over the decade, and he knows that the slightest thing, Lewis will get racial tirade. He's done it with Black Lives Matter over the last year. And
look, he's not here to defend himself, and I think we need to step in here on behalf of Christian Horner, who, as you say, was an angry man, and many would say absolutely rightly. And a lot of people will find it really strange that someone in that position now has to think twice, not because of what he's going to say, but because any criticism of who he's targeting will be racist in nature. I mean, is that really, really where we're headed?
Because those racist suspects who carry on a day-to-day basis at any excuse to bring their tirade out are there. And they're the backdrop. They're the problem. They're the people who are making black sportsmen and women lives absolute hell. And as a result of that, people need to take that in consideration. That's all I'm saying. Chris needs to take it in consideration, even though he's got good reason to make his comments known, because his driver got ended up in the barrier through a racing incident. But I think everyone needs to understand that's the world we're in at the moment. Rightly or wrongly, I'm not agreeing with it, but that's what's happening, especially when you get the reaction of the racists targeting Lewis Hamilton in these circumstances.
That's the rub, isn't it? When you say rightly or wrongly, you don't agree with it. And that's why this is a mess. Yeah,
to be quite honest, I would love sportsmen and women, people in public organisations, to get on with their lives without race being a factor. But through the last 5-6 years, through various incidences, and it's culminated with Black Lives Matter and black footballers standing up, taking the knee and making race an issue that's not going to go away until we resolve it as a society. Because it's not just a sporting issue, it's a societal issue. And we really to grips with this, and government taking leadership and not trying to bring in a distorted whitewash report, a story report, and trying to change the narrative. And people are not going to take it. Don't discount people's intelligence or undermine their intelligence until we get a proper conversation and leadership.
Leroy, we're having trouble with the line.
We are going to be talking about this for years to come.
We certainly are, and hopefully with you in the future as well. But for now, Leroy Logan, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.